Hi guys, it's Dinosaur Friend, and it's time for our very first episode of Let's All Play Pokemon X and Y. So my first opponent will be Zano, or Zano. I actually don't know how to pronounce that, but hopefully I'm pronouncing it correct, and don't kill me if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. But anyways, a little note, I actually was gonna have the episode with me versus Porky first, but unfortunately, after we recorded the commentary, we realized the audio was a bit poor on Porky's side, so we're gonna re-record it and hopefully upload it next week. But anyways, let's get this battle started! So I do want to tell everyone that this is actually my A-team Pokemon team. It's kind of like, you know, my favorite team to use, just because it has a bunch of powerful Pokemon that have a lot of synergy with each other. So I send out Who, which is my entry hazard user. So he kind of just sets up entry hazards, but unfortunately Ninetails was sent out by Zano, who is actually I believe a Sunstaller. I don't know what exact build he went with the Ninetails, but he sends out a substitute, which he tries to stall with it. I had to pull back Who because Who is actually weak ×4 against fire, so he couldn't stay out there. I couldn't let him set up. So I sent out Blissey in hopes of using Toxic, but after seeing that substitute, I had to pull Blissey out and bring out one of my tanks, which is the Hippo. Yes, he's a very tanky guy. He's basically my physical tank, but I sent him out just because he's super effective against Ninetails, and he gets rid of the Sun. So that's kind of important there, because with the Sun, Ninetails can actually do quite a bit of damage, and we don't want that happening. And we also don't want any of the other any of others team members abusing the Sun. So best we get rid of it. And Sandstorm does do a little extra damage to Ninetails once that substitute is gone, of course. But it's kind of my plan just to send the Hippo out so it can do damage while not taking too much myself. So that's kind of the deal here. But unfortunately, I got burned by Will-O-Wisp, which cuts my attack in half. Yes, Burn actually cuts your attack in half, because, yeah, Burn is actually a really, really good status move. So keep that in mind, guys. So he sends out his Nidoking, and personally, I think this Earthquake should have killed it if I wasn't burned. But unfortunately, I was burned, so that gives Nidoking a chance to attack. I believe this Nidoking has an Ice Beam that he wanted to use, and Nidoking's also immune to the Sandstorm, so I knew that he's going to do something, so I sent out Who. Yeah, see, he used an Ice Beam. I predicted the Ice Beam, so I sent out Who to tank it, because Who can tank a lot, but unfortunately it was a critical hit, and actually did quite a bit of damage. But this allows me to set up my my entry hazards, which I wasn't able to before, so that's kind of good on my part after the Nidoking switched out. But Nidoking basically couldn't stay in, because his moveset, unless he had Flamethrower, he can't really do much to this Ferrothorn, which is named Who. I name all my Pokemon characters, or Pokemon after Avatar people, or I'd say about like 80% of them are named after Avatar characters, just because I really like that series a lot. But anyways, back to the battle. Zano sends out his Venusaur, which I thought was a Chlorophyll sweeper, because that's why he sent it as Ninetales first, but for some reason he activated the Mega Evolution, which told me that Venusaur is actually not a Chlorophyll sweeper. I thought it was, so I sent out Blissey to tank it, and hopefully use Flamethrower back. Also, I want to use Aromatherapy so I can get the Hippo unburned, so that's kind of the thing with Blissey. Blissey's my Cleric. She kind of supports the entire team, and she's also a special wall, which she can... Blissey can wall a bunch of things, but she's very good at walling special attackers, and that's what I thought this Venusaur was, but he Mega Evolved it, so I wasn't too sure what it was. But Zano decides to send out a Slowbro, which, you know, back in the red, blue, and yellow days, Slowbro was a huge threat. He's not as bad now, but he's still pretty threatening. So watch out for him, man. And despite his vapid look, he is very, very dangerous. It's probably that shell in the back giving him all the commands. Gosh. So I pull off a Toxic here, in which I wanted to poison this guy, because I know Slowbro is one of the tankier Pokemon out there. So I wanted to slowly wear it down. And of course, Slowbros don't really come in the physical attacking variety, so I go ahead and just stall out with Blissey, or I attempt to stall him out, just so the Toxic can wear it down. So this is kind of the part of the game where Well, he switches out. He switches out because he knew that the poison was just going to wear down Slowbro. But he sends out his Venusaur again, which is kind of peculiar. I'm not sure why he did that, but I actually pulled back because I wanted to get Who out to set up a couple more entry hazards, just because I knew Who can tank whatever Slowbro was going to throw at me, just because I'm a Grass Steel type. But unfortunately, I didn't predict it. Venusaur came out, and I also didn't predict that Venusaur had a hidden power Fire. I believe that was a Fire move, just because it did so much damage. So that actually did ×4 damage to me, which caused me to send out Charizard to force a switch. And when I forced a switch, I was able to Mega Evolve, and I think I was also able to pull off a Dragon Dance, which I have on this Mega Charizard X. I basically wanted to force a switch so I can pull off a setup move, and I was feeling confident that I could actually sweep his team, but I wasn't too sure how strong Mega Charizard X is. I know he's pretty strong, but I never really tested him prior to this, you know. I believe this is the first battle I ever used Charizard X. I usually use Y, but I just felt, what the hey, I'll use Charizard X this round. So I was fairly confident that I was able to take him out with the Dragon Claw, but as you can see, Slowbros are pretty tanky, and he was able to pull off this Thunder Wave that pretty much puts a stop to all my sweeping, unfortunately. I was pretty sad at this, but fortunately enough, my team does have a remedy against this, as you saw before with Blissey and her aromatherapy. She was able to bring the Hippo out of burn, so I send out Blissey again just to do that. So Slowbro throws off a Scald in order to take down Mega Charizard, but Mega Charizard X doesn't really take too much damage from water, so I guess he just wanted to just whittle Charizard down while I was stunned. But unfortunately, the poison does take out Slowbro. So sorry, Slowpoke or Slowbro, you gotta go. So now Zano sends out his Garchomp. I believe this Garchomp is a choice band user. Basically, choice band, what it is, it upgrades the attack by 50%, and Garchomp can only use one move because of it. So that's what's happening here. Unfortunately, when I switch out, I use Starmie as kind of a sacrifice, because I needed to send out Lei. Lei is my revenge killer. Basically, I knew that Lei has a high amount of special attack. Lei is my Jolteon, and she's a choice specs user, which upgrades 50% on special attack. But unfortunately, I forgot that hidden power actually got weakened in Pokemon X. The hidden power type is actually Ice. Since it got weakened, it wasn't able to knock out Garchomp. It usually does at a power of 70. Unfortunately, it got weakened to power 60. So, unfortunately, Garchomp was left with that little sliver. So, I had to send out Joy to get aromatherapy out, because I knew that Charizard X was probably my only hope against this guy. But I had to really think about what to do. I did make a crucial mistake soon. I don't know when it is, but I basically just let Blissey go, just so the crucial mistake here was sending out the Hippo. I thought I do have Ice Fang on the Hippo, and I thought that maybe if the Hippo can tank one Earthquake, he'd be able to pull it off and knock out Garchomp. That was my hope here, but as you can see, the roster right now is 2 to 5, and it looks pretty bleak. So unfortunately, the Hippo takes it and couldn't take the Earthquake, because Garchomp does have a lot of attack power, and stab with that Earthquake, so it was unfortunate that I got knocked out. But anyways, I sent out Charizard. I thought I was going to lose at this point, so he sends out Clamps, which is a Gliscor, a shiny Gliscor at that, so that was pretty cool. But I just sent out a Dragon Claw because I thought I was going to lose, and just hopes of knocking it out just by being faster. But since he sent out this Gliscor, it actually allows me to set up Charizard once again, which I wanted to do here. So he uses Protect, and I still try to knock out this Gliscor, because I was afraid this Gliscor had a Rock move, or Ground move, so I knew that Dragon Claw would take it out, but I wasn't expecting this Gliscor to be a Staller type. I thought it was just going to be a tank, so I was just scared of that Earthquake. So I used Flare Blitz here in an attempt to just knock it out flat out, which Charizard X does a very good job of doing it, just because of the 130 attack power and the, was it Tough Claws? I think that's his ability, which boosts all physical moves by 30%. So that Flare Blitz was pretty nifty. So Zano sends out his Ninetails. This part is the critical turning point of this game, because Ninetails has Drought now. And since the sun is out, and since Charizard doesn't take much damage from Ninetales, I decide that, you know, this is the best time to set up. So I do set up with a Dragon Dance. For some reason, he switches to Nidoking. I think this might have been a mistake on his part. I don't know why he switched to Nidoking. I think he was trying to switch to Venusaur, but I don't know. Maybe a Solar Beam. I don't know what he was trying to do here, but basically that was his big mistake. And since I was able to, yeah, I think Nidoking was a mistake because he withdrew Nidoking, and he sends out Garchomp again, which is kind of curious. That Sandstorm would have benefited him in all reality, but anyways, since that setup, I was able to pull off another Dragon Claw. Because he pulled out Garchomp, that was really bad on his part. Just because Garchomp, I think he could have outsped Charizard and could have taken him out. My Charizard's not a Timid or a Jolly Charizard. He is an Adamant Charizard, so he doesn't get bonus speed. And Garchomp will outspeed Charizard, just in general. So unfortunately, with the sun out now, and with that Dragon Dance, I'm able to just sweep the entire team because, you know, Charizard's getting bonus attack from the sun. So unfortunately, that just works against Zano, and, you know, the whole sweeping comes at this point. So I go ahead and use a Dragon Claw and just claw Ninetails' eyes out. Hopefully I didn't touch its tail, because I believe Ninetails is actually some kind of Japanese mythical animal. If you touch its tail, it'll curse you for 1,000 years or something. It's based off of that animal, but anyways, it's down to the last Pokemon, Nidoking versus Charizard. But unfortunately, my Charizard is faster with that Dragon Dance pulled off, and yeah, that was a very, very close match between me and Zano. Anyways, it all came down to the switch of the Garchomp. Unfortunately for Zano, I felt that if he pulled off an Earthquake against Charizard X, he would have been able to take it out. I think he may have forgotten that Charizard, after evolving to Charizard X, loses its flying type ability, and Earthquake actually does hit it, despite its idle animation showing off its ability to fly. If he had not pulled out that Garchomp, he would have won. So thank you for playing with me, Zano. So if you guys like what you see, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons, and remember to follow me on Facebook and Twitter for more info on the Let's All Play Pokemon X and Y series. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I shall see you guys on the next one.